Hi, I'm Steve Metcalf, and I'm here to talk about Hackamores. This video is brought to you by our friends at Bimeda, makers of Polyglycan and Equimax. So today we're going to talk about the groundwork when you're introducing the Hackamore to them. This is what we call a rag. It's a cotton rope with a rawhide nose. This is my foundation. I'll have people call me and say, gosh, we rode in a Hackamore, we got on for a couple of days, they were great, and all of a sudden the horse was running off. Well, it's because they didn't do the foundation. And they probably didn't know what the foundation was, rather than just jump on and go. It's like building a house. If you don't have a good foundation, probably when you start framing the house, it's not going to turn out well. And so my foundation is groundwork. We've done it through history. I know a lot of young people, they want to get going, they want to get on and run, stop, turn around, go on the rail, whatever. But if you do these foundation things on the ground, you will find that you will get farther ahead than you would by just jumping on and going and then having to take steps backwards to go to the foundation. So when I introduce the rag to them and eventually going to go to the Hackamore, I'll either be in the round pen or in an arena, depending on how much time we've got on this horse. And I want to do groundwork, and groundwork means I'm going to take this horse and I'm just going to pull his nose right to here. See how that horse just came to my hand? He's had groundwork. Then I will add that by taking that horse's head and I will move him around like this. I'm moving this horse. I'm teaching this horse to come to pressure. I stopped him, he gave his head. Now I might push my body into him and move his hip around. I'm going to stop him again. Now I'm going to move him around. I'm teaching this horse to soften to my hand, like that. Now I'm going to reward him. And we all have two sides to a horse. We've got to do both sides, just like when you first start a colt, you got to get on both sides of the horse. Or one day, if you've always gone on the one side of the horse, you go to step on the other side and he bucks you off and you wonder why. So we're going to go around to the other side. We're going to have this horse come to my hand. He's very flexible. And that's what we're looking for. We want him to come to my hand. I'm going to reward him. He's looking for that reward. Now I'm just going to push my body into him a little bit. Move his body around. Connect that nose to his feet. And this horse is very willing. But this horse has had this groundwork. He knows what this means. And then when I get on him and pull that rein, it's not going to be foreign to him. Groundwork is this is my foundation right here. Okay. Now I'm going to do a little exercise that I'm going to pull this horse's nose like this. I've got, on my rags, I have the rope pretty long so I can get away from the horse if I need to. And I'm just going to come around like this. And this is for more advanced people and horses. But I'm just going to take his nose. And I'm going to have him come to me. Reward him. Now I'm going to check out this side. And I want this horse to do it relaxed. When you first start doing this, you'll find you'll have some resistance. You just have to be patient. Wait for them to come to it. If they want to back up and resist, back off a little bit. Take your time. You're introducing something new to your horse. You want to spend a little time, because at the end of the day, when all this is done, you want your horse to have confidence. There are times where we have to take their confidence away, but at some point we have to give that confidence back to them, and they'll always perform better. But that's one of my basic exercises, and you do it to where you can move your horse's body around. He wants to come to your hand. He's willing. And then when you get those 4 or 5 rides on him and wonder why he's running through the Hackamore, it's because you didn't do the groundwork. You do the groundwork, he'll understand to come to your hand, and then if you get in a difficult situation, you can draw their nose and they'll want to come to you. You're not making them come to you. You're teaching that horse to want to come to your hand. Now, remember this. This is what I call a rag. It's a form of a Hackamore, but we're not working on the jaw. You may find that if you get your new rag and it's really loose, so see how loose this is, and it's pretty sloppy? So I need to snug it up a little bit to where I get a better response. So all I'm gonna do is take this rope, and I'm just gonna come around, pull it through. I can make another half hitch, I can snug it down, and now I'm gonna have a little better contact to the jaw because it's cotton and it's not going to shock him. Because of the cotton rope, you're not hitting his jaw with rawhide and making him want to go up in the air. It's soft, and that's what the purpose is. We're working on the nose right now. So we've done our groundwork. Now we're going to get on. Now you want a certain length of this rope. You want enough slack to where if you want to walk circles to the right, if I make this really tight, I can't bend that horse to the right. And you're gonna wonder why you take his nose and he doesn't want to give it to you. Well, when you tied off, your rope was too short. Now too long, a horse can step through the loop. So you don't want to be too long. You want to have a little slack, but be aware of if you're gonna pull this horse around to the right, that it doesn't limit him from going right. So that's a good length right there. I've made a half hitch right here. Now I'm gonna make a second half hitch. I'm just gonna repeat it. And I may get on him, and if he's a horse that's really soft in the neck, I may shorten it up a little bit. All I have to do is just pull that and tighten that a little more. Or if I want to lengthen it. Now I've tied off, I think I have the right length that I want. I'm gonna hang a little more out there, and when I get on, I'll show you how to easily shorten it up. I've made my second half hitch. Okay, I take a hold of my horse. Well, he's real soft in the neck. So I want to shorten it a little bit. I just take my finger, go like that, pull my rope, I can adjust it. Pull my rope, I can loosen this up, pull my rope here. I can give my final adjustment, and I'm ready to rock and roll. When I get on, there are some guys, not too many, that will, I showed earlier demonstrating length of rein with the length of my arms. Some guys will run it shorter and they don't want to loop. They'll want to be right here, but be short enough that they can get a hold of their horse when they need to. I like to ride with a loop, and it's just habit. I've done it most of my life that way. That's the way I was taught. And so And I prefer a right-hand loop. Why? Just habit. Some guys can go to a left-hand loop like that. I go with a right-hand loop. I can jiggle my reins, make my loop bigger. I can open up my hand, make my loop smaller. That's comfort zone for me personally. It's not set in stone, but I will tell you this. When I put my Macatis on and how I demonstrated taking the kink out of them, when I tie that last knot, it's to have a right-hand loop. And if you turn your rein a little bit, when I was showing how I rolled it in the Hackamore, you can make it to where you can have a left-hand loop. See the kink I've got there? I tied this to be a right-hand loop. See how this wants to kind of be funny? Okay? It isn't funny when it doesn't mess up when I make a right-hand loop because I tied this that way. So just little tricks to make things more comfortable for you, and that's how I personally show. Like I say, everybody has their own way of doing it with minor adjustments. So we've done our groundwork. Now I have a chance to control this horse because he knows what that means. He gives his nose willingly. He's stress-free. I can walk circles, put my legs on him. He comes to my hand like that. Now I'm just gonna go the other direction. He comes to my hand. He's what I call a willing participant. And all I have on him is a cotton rope. But because of the groundwork I've done, he is very willing to give his nose. Now, because we ride a lot of cow horses and we have to go out of the herd, I want to be able to drive him forward and make him give his nose. And then I want to be able to back up and give his nose. My hands have told him to go backwards. And now I push him forward. These reining cow horses have to be so broke. It is such a tough event that our horses have to be able to back around so we can draw through a turn out of the herd. But we also have to do the rein work, and they have to be able to understand that if we push them forward, they honor our legs and they know how to step around and behind. Now I'll go the other way. I'm pushing him forward with my legs, tipping his nose. Now I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna draw him backwards. Now I'm gonna drive him forward, tip his nose. And I get all that because of my groundwork. Don't skip it. It's probably the most important part of your program in the beginning. And you'll get to where you want to get sooner if you spend time on the ground on these horses.